Hey guys, my name's Kayla, this is Jenna, and we're here because we want to brew some beer. We did an IPA last week and we thought it would be fun to walk you guys through the process and just kind of see how it goes.
Yeah, so this is, again, only our second beer kit. It's from Craft Brew Beer Kit. It's a Hefeweizen, which is actually one of my favorite beers, so I'm super psyched. Yeah, we just want to show you guys what it's like to brew beer in a really tiny apartment with really limited equipment, no professional equipment at all. We are by no means experts, so I would not use this as a tutorial, but maybe it could be useful. Maybe we'll learn some tricks along the way. We'll find out, but join us.
All right, let's get started.
All right, so right now I'm just filling up our 1 gallon fermenter with water so that we can get some water going. We want it to be 155 degrees. We want to fill it up a little bit more than a gallon because water's gonna boil off. It's kind of heavy for me. But once it gets to 155 degrees, we are going to steep our grains and take you along as we do that.
Okay, this is our steeping bag and we are gonna put our grains into the bag and then put it into the 155 degree water. Very specific.
All right, so now we are adding our grains to the steeping bag. Once we have all of those grains in there, we're just gonna tie a knot in the bag closer to the bottom so that we have some room to pull the bag out of the hot water once it's done. So we are just keeping our eye on our thermometer. Once it reaches 155 degrees Fahrenheit, we are going to add in our steeping bag and leave it there for about 20 minutes. Once our timer hit 20 minutes, we took out our grain bag. The directions were very clear that you should not squeeze the grain bag, so avoid that. And then we raised the heat so that we could get our pot to a rolling boil. Once we had our pot at a rolling boil, we just took it off the heat so that we could add in our malt extract to make our wort. This is our Breeze Bavarian wheat dried malt extract. Yep. Stirred that up, made sure we didn't have any clumps. Got a rolling boil going again so that we had some foam at the top. And then we started adding in our hops. We added half of our bag of hops in at 60 minutes and the other half in when there were only 2 minutes left to boil. And yeah, some more stirring action. Once we got our boil going, there's not much else to do but wait. In the last 15 minutes of the boil, we sanitized everything. We added in half of the pack of sanitizer with some water and sanitized all of our equipment so that we avoided any risk of contamination. At this point, Milo started to get a little bit bored, and here is all of our sanitized equipment. When our wort was almost done boiling, we prepared an ice bath. So we just added in a big bag of ice, some cold water, and put our wort in there after 60 minutes so that it could cool down to a temperature of 75 degrees Fahrenheit. After a nice soccer match with Milo, our wort finally cooled down to 75 degrees Fahrenheit, so we started straining it into our 1 gallon fermenter. We ended up having to top it off with water because it didn't quite get us at the 1 gallon mark because of all of the water that had evaporated in the boiling process. But we made sure we caught any of that hop residue with this fine mesh strainer. Yum! Prior to pitching the yeast, we just shook it up a bit to get some oxygen in there, and then we pitched our yeast, shook it up for about another minute. We added in our tubing, made this contraption, and then we put it in a cool, dark place to ferment for 2 weeks. We're gonna change the tubing in about 2 to 3 days and replace it with an airlock, but until then, this is what we have. So tune back in for us to bottle this beer and eventually taste it. Thanks for watching.